in crafting the legislation that would grant Hawaii statehood, Congress specifically required the state to hold the former Crown and government lands of the kingdom, to which Native Hawaiians had never been compensated for, in trust. And one of the named beneficiaries were Native Hawaiians. So I think that's really important context when we are talking about the purpose for which the state is meant to hold these lands and who it's meant to benefit. Accordingly, Hawaii's constitution created OHA and then authorized our trustees specifically to manage those funds specifically for our beneficiaries.
In 2006, the legislature adopted Act 178. Act 178 requires the executive branch to come up with $15.1 million annually to give to OHA as part of the obligations to fulfill our obligations in the Constitution.
From our opinion, there are three main outstanding issues as it relates to OHA's pro rata share of the public land trust. The first is agencies substantially underreport what's generated. Number two, agencies substantially under-transfer what they should be transferring. And finally, the amount that OHA receives, 15.1, which again was meant to be temporary, is outdated.
Just like you had said in your opening statement, the UH reports receipts from parking, faculty housing, non-student rentals, vending machines, and certain bookstore items. But in my interpretation of 178, it specifically requires a reporting of all receipts. And so what about receipts from other commercial businesses on the UH campus, such as vendors or Sodexo or?
Those are not on ceded land, I believe.
Well, Sodexo is not, actually, we don't get rent. We actually pay for that service. That's a managed service contract.
At the Mauna Kea Visitor Center, there are public land trust receipts, and in UH's internal audit noted 1.2 million in retail sales. Do you pay public land trust receipts on that?
We do not.
Why not?
So that those retail sales in general are part of the overall MKSS, Mauna Kea Support Services function, which is a cost center, not a revenue center.
So they do not generate revenue?
There are receipts, but again, using the guidance that we've been provided by attorney generals, we use a net calculation.
Do you even report the receipts?
We do not at present. It's an RCUH. Those revenues come in through RCUH.
I mean, but the store sells books, sells food, souvenirs.
It's part of a program that is a cost center, not a revenue center.
Telescope. What a telescope say, where you guys making money off of that bookstore or whatever you guys said it was on, is it on ceded land?
It's on ceded land.
Okay. Now or was always ceded land?
It's always.
No, I just asked because you guys say sometimes you guys are learning, right? That is was ceded land, some wasn't ceded land, so now you're learning, you're saying, right? So I'm learning too. So to me, if it's ceded land, what you guys say you guys are not generating money, but 1-point-something million or whatever the senator just said, that sounds like money to me. So if you're not generating money, that means everything you're giving from the store is for free. Souvenir here. It's not. You guys generating something off of that property. So if it is ceded land, my question is, why is it being receipt or whatever you guys are talking about? Because of 1-point-something million, that's a lot of money.
So again, that's we're using a net calculation rather than gross, consistent with advice we received.
I think what we're going to do is look at requesting the state auditor to look at the overall process this legislative session of how we manage the ceded land inventories as required by the Public Land Trust, and how we actually define proceeds, revenues, and receipts, and how to best manage those trust resources. So